Well, good morning and top of the day to all of you beautiful folks out there. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. I'm your host, Trey Holiday, and it is June 1st, Monday, June 1st. We are starting this month off with a lot to cover. So let's get right into it today. I got to throw it over to my guy, Big O, who was on the scene all weekend long. What's up, O?
Let me tell you, Trey, man, it's crazy that I'm even here. I'll be honest with you, man. You know, it's 3 days on top of these protests and everything else, really trying to get the story from the source and on the street level. We got a lot of stuff to get into, but you know, and this was one thing too, because I had to give some thought to it. There was so much news going on and everything. And last week we had booked Ashaunti from Ashaunti Monique's Customs to be here today. And then I was going to call her and be like, man, let's reschedule. And I thought about it. Even bigger than the news or protests is supporting our black businesses.
That's right.
So we got Ashaunti. She's over here in the chats by Trey set. Where's she at? Where's Ashaunti? Is she on the screen? Hey, Ashaunti.
There she is.
All right. So you guys, you know what I'm saying, stick with us. Ashaunti's she's going to be in the Melanin Magic segment here later on in the show.
Yeah.
So, man, first thing I want to jump into, and I want to warn people that this segment, not a warning about the length, it's about 4.5 minutes, but you will hear some profanity on there that's from me, so, you know, don't hold it against me. I think it's important you see this because our understanding is there's some sentiment that maybe people in the international district think that it was, you know, black thugs or gang members or something that came and destroyed their neighborhood. Now, I can tell you Friday, I was actually there with this group of anarchists, and I stayed with them for over an hour. And they went from the international district, where the police swept them to, by the way, from downtown. They got swept into the ID. They vandalized the ID, and then I followed them all the way actually to 7th and Pine. They kicked into King County Courthouse, you know, looted Brooks Brothers, the IBM building, and everything else. So all of our brothers and sisters out there in the international district who might be hearing or believing a narrative that the black folks came and tore up your neighborhood, my friends, here's the video proof.
So basically, these guys outflanked the police, and yeah, they're gonna have a hard time keeping this purple promise. So this is Bank of America on 5th and Jackson, and looks like they don't breach the bank. This guy's coming. There it is. They broke out the bank window. Somebody climbed up and they took down the camera. And now so the bank windows are down. It's a bank. I think most people know ain't no money in there. Now they've entered the bank. Windows are broken out here. Windows are broken out here. So basically South Jackson right now, this shit is, this is it. Yeah. Again, SPD is way down there, and they've been down there. So these guys have been walking at least 5-6 blocks up the street. There's been no police presence. Now SPD is responding to the bank, but nobody's at the bank. Damn, you know, that's the optometrist. That's small business right there, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just a regular small business. Yes, you heard somebody yelled out, that's a local business, you know? Tags are up everywhere. So yeah, Seattle Vision Clinic. For tomorrow, but like clearly the city ain't prepared. Look at this. They They got the rocks ready, everything. God damn. Yeah. At this point, I almost got to think that, like, the police have just kind of said, fuck it, which very well might be the case. These guys have been out here for about 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? There have been zero presence. This is, I don't have no idea. And this is, no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't fuck nothing up in Chinatown. These are all small business owners. You know, I'm a small business owner. You know, like all of these guys, man, they don't work their whole life to open a business and shit. You guys just can't be over here.
Chinese people like is suffering, you know, like trying so hard in the racism.
Well, no, it's fucked up. The racist guys already fucked up Chinatown once. Now the anarchist's gonna come and fuck it up again. These are small business owners, man, breaking some shit and doing all that, man. It's not all right.
Expression of rage and power, that's important. But like people need to be more tactical and not talk about Chinatown.
Expression of rage, yeah, like I hear all that. And you know, these Chinese, the people who live in the ID are mostly old people. They ain't out here defending their shit.
Not only that, but they're doing something like crazy recently.
I understand it. I live in the Central District. I don't give a fuck. You guys bring this shit to my neighborhood where my mama lives. It's on.
So again, to our brothers and sisters, literally just a few blocks from here in the International District, man, don't be believing the narrative. You've seen it for yourself right there. Didn't no black people come and tear up your neighborhood or anything. What I can tell you happened is what you saw on film. The SPD abandoned you. They pushed the protesters from 5th and Marion. I got all that footage too. They pushed the, I lost my audio. Thank you, Daryl. They pushed the protesters from 5th and Marion. I'll repeat what I said here real quick so everybody can hear me well. Thank you. Is that, one, there wasn't no black thugs who came down there and tore it up. The SPD abandoned the International District. I was there when the SPD pushed everybody from 5th and Marion because they broke an Amazon Go window. And they pushed these people who they knew now were violent and destroying property. They pushed them into the International District. And that group right there that you saw on that tape, I followed them from 45 minutes. There's an article on our website. From 5th and Jackson all the way to 7th and Pine. So you know what? I know if you guys want accountability, you need to talk to the mayor and to the chief of police and ask them why Seattle Police Department pushed a group of people that were clearly violent because they had vandalized the Amazon Go. These are the same people that vandalized police headquarters. And they pushed them into the International District and then abandoned the ID. So, you know what I'm saying? We're wishing peace and solidarity to our brothers in the International District.
Yeah, seriously. And I'm so glad that you were on the scene, to get that footage, because truth be told, you were the only camera there. I mean, according to what we just saw there, it was as if they had their own people that were there to cover them, and you were there to cover it for the community. I mean, literally, there was no media. There was no one there to actually show what that faction and that splinter group was doing. So thank you for that.
Nah, I mean, and the other thing is, so today we're highlighting coverage from other media outlets, and you'll see that Tuesday and Wednesday we're going to have a lot of our footage. We also got the youth perspective coming in tomorrow. So another thing that happened is that we say the protests were hijacked. And I'm not going to go too deep into all that footage today. Again, we're going to give you guys our footage tomorrow. But I think the sentiment here, this is a report on King 5, where a woman here is talking about how they said the peaceful protests were hijacked by the anarchists again.
Back to something Amy talked about just a few minutes ago. We caught up with protesters who were really disappointed with how today went. Thousands of people marched peacefully before the gathering took a violent turn. Here's what one woman told Amy Marino.
I'm more than frustrated. I'm irate. I came down here for a planned protest, peaceful, and the anarchists, I feel, have taken over, breaking windows, taunting the police. That's not what we're here for. And I feel like now there's a curfew, we have to leave. They hijacked our protest.
So, I mean, I think, Trey, you would agree that, you know, the sentiment for a lot of people is that protests were hijacked. But for me, though, I want to put a little clarification. I think that I think that the movement, the spirit was hijacked, but the protests weren't hijacked because people who came in peace left in peace.
Yeah.
So you can't say that the protest was hijacked. These people came in peace, they left in peace. Some other people did not come in peace and left downtown in pieces.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, we were on 4th Avenue doing our speeches with the preachers of all these churches and, you know, literally working on, you know, the convening that Not This Time and other, you know, community groups put together. It was peaceful, literally on 4th Ave when we were over there. Now, 5th Ave was an entirely different story. And that is where the smoke bombs were going off. That is where the chaos was happening. So I saw it for myself. Oh, it was 2 separate things going on downtown.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of what I found myself doing yesterday, because there is a narrative out there, and I want to remind all of our viewers, there's a narrative out there that people who gathered in peace. Now, I didn't go to the one that the noon rally, but I was there at the Westlake rally organized by a black community. And there's a narrative out there that protest turned violent. And, you know, I'm encouraging people to stick to the script and what we all saw on video. The peaceful protesters never left Westlake, even though there was cars on fire less than 150 feet away, you know, smoke bombs, fire bombs, all of that stuff. They stayed there because one of the main things people were told was don't be distracted. And so we need to stop people. When you hear people saying that the protest got hijacked, that peaceful protest did not get hijacked. It started peacefully and ended peacefully. The spirit of peaceful protest on Saturday might have got hijacked by the anarchists, but don't let these people write our narrative for us. That peaceful it started peacefully, it ended peacefully. Huh?
Absolutely. And you know what? It was a real community resilience at the end of the day. The message that was there was in a spirit of unity. And I love how the preachers and community groups came together to ask our white brothers and sisters to stand up. You guys can no longer be silent. That was a serious, strong message of that day. And I appreciated that.
I'll be honest with you. So tomorrow, like I said, we have local coverage from other stations today. But tomorrow, like all this footage, some of these guys I see have logged in, man. You know, they saw me yesterday. It was on for 4 hours straight, then another 2 hours. I mean, we've got so much footage here from our level, just from a street level perspective. Mayor Durkin, moving on to the next story here. Mayor Durkin walked the streets yesterday. And talked about her feelings about the riots and everything else. And I'll be honest with you, I just want to put this out there. I've been covering things, these protests and everything since May 2016. I'll show you guys some coverage tomorrow. The anarchists have never went to jail. They've never went to jail. And this plays an important part. And I want to tell you guys, Friday, the police made very few arrests. None of those people that caused the damage in ID, because I was with them the whole night, went to jail. Guess where they went to yesterday, though? Because they didn't go to jail on Friday. They went to Bellevue. You see what I'm saying? Anyways, Mayor Durkin said that, of course, she was disappointed to see how everything was in downtown Seattle. I'm just curious. We'll talk about it tomorrow more. Why we have so much footage of SPD standing by and watching things get looted while the peaceful protesters last night got corralled out of Westlake. Anyway, this is from King 5 right here. Mayor Jenny Durkin.
It was a tough day for our city. But it was a tough day across the nation. We can't let the violence and the destruction that happened override the message of Mr. Floyd's death. People rightfully were protesting. There was many peaceful protests, but obviously it degenerated very quickly. And what I love to see here is so many people coming downtown to help clean up, to remove graffiti, to reclaim the city that they love. And that's the spirit we have to be about going forward, is people coming together and find a way to really acknowledge the challenges that we have, make them better, but still love our city.
All right. Thank you, Daryl. So moving on right here to the peaceful protests. I was there last night, and we're going to cover this extensively. I followed a peaceful protest yesterday, man, for 6 hours. A lot of people that are watching it right now, they were actually there at the protest or watched it on the stream. 100% peaceful the whole time. Seattle PD invited the protesters back to Westlake. They even gave us an escort. I got it on tape. Got down there to Westlake, and then, you know, maybe an hour, they told people to disperse. But guess what? There was no Metro bus running. There was no Link Light Rail, and no Ubers were coming down there. And you know, the funny thing is SPD, when people were tearing up the city on Saturday, they put their hands in the pockets. But yesterday, a group of protesters who were peaceful the whole time, we got it on film, they got rough. Now, this is the King 5 version. We're going to give you guys the uncut tomorrow.
If you're fed up of unarmed black individuals being killed by the police, then this is your time, this is your moment to say,
hands up, don't shoot, hands up, don't shoot.
We're at 12th and Pine, really right in front of the police station on Capitol Hill.
We want peace. We don't want to be killed. We don't want to be hurt. We don't want kids out here getting hurt.
After marching throughout Capitol Hill, the protesters just got permission from the police to bring the demonstration to Westlake, showing that they have been in cooperation with them this entire time.
But then they blocked the streets and won't let us leave.
This is the tensest we've seen the crowd. We have heard police say that they released those dispersal alerts. I see some officers shaking their tear gas cans. They really are trying to get these protesters out of Westlake. Protesters would be on the streets for well over 5 hours after curfew, and now they've at their breaking point. And some of the protesters are encouraging others not to fight back against police.
That's right.
Touch on that clip briefly, you know what I'm saying? And I know there's different limitations in broadcast news like King 5, but when you guys see this footage here tomorrow, the police literally chased the peaceful protesters. They did nothing on Saturday. The peaceful protesters, I was there covering it, we got the tape, with their batons, they chased us from Westlake all the way up Pine and up the Boring Hill. You know, you'll also see on tape, I'm telling them, I'm like, why don't you guys call King County Metro? Have them reactivate the buses. How are people going to get home? You know what I'm saying? What's up with the Link Light Rail? Ubers won't come. The police were like, that's not our problem. I said, well, where do you want them to go? Anyways, I'm getting off point, but I'm telling you, you guys will see this tomorrow. It was wild that when the SPD decided to actually flex, it was on the actual peaceful people.
And that's the sad part. I'm so glad that you're able to set that clip up for us tomorrow. Oh, and thanks again for being on the scene. I mean, again, this is the importance of our own media, and this is the importance of us being out there and actually seeing what's going on, being a part of it, because then you're able to weave in your own personal understanding with what we're seeing happen on the coverage. So, man, I can't wait for tomorrow's clip. Yeah, man. So now this kind of references back to Friday, to that clip where we showed you here at the top of the show. On Friday, there's, man, no arrest of these anarchists. And what I heard that on Saturday, there was only about 30 arrests, and those were the looters. And by the way, I can tell you there's a hierarchy to this. Peaceful protesters, then the anarchists come in and break things, then the looters come and steal things, because it's a crime of opportunity. And so the looters don't break the windows, the anarchists break the windows, then the looters come. Most of the arrests on Saturday was all looters. Nobody got arrested on Friday. And what people need to understand is the protesters want to be seen with the police. They want the police to hear their voice. Anarchists don't want conflict with the police. They definitely don't want conflict with the National Guard. They told us, and we reported this, that they were going to wait for Seattle to fortify itself and go somewhere else and break stuff. That's what anarchists want to do. They don't want to fight with the police. They want to break stuff. So guess what? All the people that didn't get arrested on Friday and all the people that didn't get arrested on Saturday, well, they made their way over to the east side.
So as you heard Molly reporting, there had been some sort of Guys, we're going to just start moving back. They seem to be dispersing the crowd here. We are safely moving away. Okay, JD, move to the left a little bit.
Oh, here. All right, we're seeing those smoke canisters that have been dispersed by police. Let's go back over to Molly Shen. I believe she's on the opposite side. Molly, tell us what's happening.
Yeah. Well, somebody threw a bottle at the police officers. It went over a bunch of the crowd. Hit the officers. Officers responded immediately by throwing out the tear gas canisters.
So, I mean, like I said, Triana, the city of Seattle has never made these anarchists pay. They've never had to go to jail. I don't know if it's people wanting Seattle to be so liberal or whatever it is or anything else, but they never, I'll be honest with you, it's white privilege protesting, but I ain't going to give away everything for tomorrow because, you know what I'm saying, this is white privilege protesting. I doubt that irregardless if it was a bunch of black people that was right there doing all the stuff these white people did, they get away with it. But the fact that SPD didn't arrest nobody on Friday, didn't arrest anybody on Saturday, well, Seattle's problem became Bellevue's problem.
And you know what? At the end of the day, if they don't do something about this faction, about this group that is literally trying to wreak havoc on businesses, they're going to see it happen in multiple cities. It's not going to stop with Bellevue. At the end of the day, we've talked about this. It's a growing sentiment. Oh, they've got to do something to make sure that they actually attack and arrest these people at the end of the day. And what I don't like is that they come in and they hijack it with their own stuff. And then what happens? We see a fallout that doesn't have anything to do with them. So again, there's a lot that we need to learn from them.
And I'm, you know what I'm saying, and we have an organizer that we found, actually from the Central District, who's with one of these organizations, Antifa or Anarchy group, who we're trying to set up an interview with for tomorrow and really try to get some understanding and perspective. Because I'll be honest with you, man, I'm not with that. Anything that's kind of this co-opting us, you know what I'm saying? I'm not with that. You guys, you know, you go do something else with somebody else. Anyways, I'm sorry for all the smoke this morning, y'all. It was a long weekend covering these protests. We're going to go to the national headlines next. You are watching the Morning Update Show.
I'm a young black man doing all that I can to stand. Oh, but when I look around and I see what's being done to my kind, every day I'm being hunted as prey. My people don't want no trouble. We've had enough struggle. I just wanna live. God protect me. I just wanna live. I just wanna live.
Welcome back to the Morning Update Show. My name is Omari Salisbury. I'm joined as usual by the very talented, able, capable, smart, amazing, the Nubian goddess herself, Miss Treyana Holiday.
That was beautiful. Thank you, oh man. This is, you know, I love when we can keep it a little light in midst of all the heavy discussion today.
Hey, believe me, you know, I mean, that's the best thing is, you know, a lot of people might not know because I've worn a few different hats throughout my career, but, you know, I've been a journalist since my days of writing at the Garfield Messenger. And then with AND One and all kinds of different media outlets around the world. I'm now just back in Seattle. But the one thing is you got to be able to make light of stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, when we have the youth perspective, there's actually video of me. I got tear gas so bad that all these people were pouring milk on my face, and somebody has a video of it. But, you know, no hard feelings. On the national front, a quick story here. While America is really seeking leadership, it looks like our president was hiding in the bunker, and we haven't even heard from him.
Well, guys, there are multiple reports that Donald Trump has briefly been taken into his underground bunker for safety as protesters surrounded the White House today. You'll remember that we were there for sunrise when that group pushed through that front fence and came much too close for the liking of the Secret Service, who eventually used tear gas and raised their weapons to push those people away. There was a mass exodus. Those people have since moved down here, as you said, about a block away from the White House. But obviously heightened tensions, heightened concerns about the safety of the Commander-in-Chief with this literally now on his front lawn.
Yeah, I mean, even the conservatives are like, hello, are you still there? So, but you know, a lot of people are saying, man, Trump might be doing the whole country a service by just being quiet.
Yeah, I am in agreement with that. I just want to say that. Short and sweet. Thank you, Trump. We don't need to hear you right now.
Exactly. All right, so it's time to get into the funky stuff from around the country. The first thing is here, man, and this was crazy, and Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms from Atlanta, she acted swiftly last night, and the chief of police there in Atlanta. This is video here. It's, man, I'll be honest with you, it's kind of rough. This video here of two college students getting pulled over by the police. The police tased them, pulled them out the car, they break the windows, everything, saying they thought they had guns. It didn't take but a few hours for these officers to be fired by the Atlanta Police Department.
Police misconduct amid nationwide protests over police misconduct. Here, police in riot gear surround a car with 2 young black people inside. One slashes a tire. Another smashes the driver's window. The young woman is tased and violently dragged out, although she is not resisting. The male driver is manhandled and also shocked with a taser, even though he too doesn't appear to resist.
Put him down, man. Put him down. Put him down.
On Sunday, after the police body cam video went viral, 2 of the policemen were fired. Authorities identified them as Ivory Streeter and Mark Gardner. This was Atlanta, Georgia on Saturday night, for protesters calling for justice for the death in Minneapolis of George Floyd. It could have been almost anywhere in the U.S. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms said the officers' actions were unacceptable.
Sometime during the night, I saw a very disturbing video of 2 young college students who were in downtown Atlanta yesterday evening. And it was disturbing on many levels, the least of not which was that there clearly was an excessive use of force.
We see there in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, that, I mean, when you have people like Killer Mike and all these guys the other day, T.I., everybody saying like, man, you know, don't tear up our city, this and that, and trying to really bring the tensions down, that, you know, the Atlanta Police Department might have inflamed it. I'm gonna move right now over into Philly. Protests going on in Philly right now. Philly's right now as we speak. Philly's in a state of emergency. There, the violence and the destruction got out of hand real early. And then, of course, like I told you, it's a hierarchy: the peaceful protesters, the anarchists, then the looters. So you'll see here on this clip, it shows a lot of looting. The looters aren't the ones who busted everything up. They're still wrong, by the way. I'm not justifying anything. Somebody come try to loot me, they're gonna see me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Philly has a problem right now.
Everyone, I'm Yuki Washington. A citywide curfew is once again in effect until 6 a.m. All businesses in Philadelphia have been ordered to shut down. SEPTA has stopped all service until tomorrow morning. So how did we get here? It's been a second straight day of destruction after a peaceful protest following the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis took a violent turn. Officers have been injured, property destroyed, and livelihoods shattered. The National Guard has been called in to help. Joe Holden has more on the state of the city and what's being done to restore order.
Day 2 of violence, chaos, and disorder on Philadelphia streets, taxing the city's police force. High-ranking department sources tell CBS 3 in Kensington and North Philadelphia, looters overpowered law enforcement's ability to respond. The city, in a Sunday evening news conference, confirmed officers were outnumbered.
Our officers are going to take in mind their own personal safety in order to respond to these issues. Obviously, they put their lives on the line every day, but they're going to do it in a smart way. So that by no means was enforcement lax last night. It was really a matter of manpower.
More looting into the night despite an imposed 6 p.m. curfew. Police eventually got the upper hand along business corridors near Temple Hospital. Germantown Avenue storefronts were largely defenseless against earlier mobs of people.
We couldn't take every officer out of every district in the city and send them to a store that's being looted without losing the district of the neighborhood. So it's a Hobson's choice.
The National Guard is now expected as Philadelphia is in critical condition.
We're trying to send a lot of, love and peace out there to Philly right now.
Yeah, man, the unrest around the country is real. That's what we're seeing. Again, I've been in between because it's hard. It's like when people get tired of being sick and tired, they want to do something. And unfortunately, it's like I need to get my aggression out. That's what we're seeing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely what we're seeing. So something interesting that did happen yesterday, you know what I'm saying? Maybe on the positive side is the Minneapolis police chief. He came out. It's too long for us to play on here, but he came over there and joined the protesters. You know what I'm saying? And he said he wanted to acknowledge their humanity and the humanity of George Floyd. And actually, when he was on air, we don't have this segment, he talked to the Floyd family and told them he wants justice. He said all the cops were implicated, and hopes they all get charged. Anyway, here's the Minneapolis police chief right here joining protesters.
You came here to do what? We watched you walk up to this memorial. What did you come here to do today?
I came to pay my respects to Mr. Floyd, and I came to just offer prayer for his loved ones, his family, and our community that's hurting. I grew up about a block from here, and this has been so impactful for me, for this department, but for our city. But I also wanted to be in a space where people who love Mr. Floyd, I wanted to be in a space where people are talking about how do we heal and how do we move from this. And so it's going to take time, and I think that everyone here is trying to everyone here is trying to do the best that they can to offer what their feelings, and those are all valid. But I just needed to be here in this space today, and offer my respects.
So you see right there, a chief of police, you know what I'm saying, he wanted to acknowledge the humanity of the victim. And a lot of things, something a lot of people might not know is the Minneapolis chief of police actually sued the Minneapolis Police Department years ago. It was a suit with 5 or 6 other, there was black officers, and they sued the Minneapolis Police Department because they said the harsh treatment of black officers and the failure of promotion in the Minneapolis police force. And eventually, the Minneapolis police force ended up settling the lawsuit that the chief brought. So it sounds like, kind of like, you know what I'm saying, that police force been funky for a while.
Yeah, and really, to be honest, I mean, what leadership of their chief? I mean, honestly, because it's not something we hear often. And, we normally hear it's the blues stick together. It's kind of this like bluesy, this blue thing. And so I love hearing that because that shows his humanity as well. Shout out to him.
Right. Now, so something that was going on the last 3 days, but because I hadn't watched the news, because we were out there, covering the news, I had no idea, what was occurring. But, here across Seattle, we would hear the peaceful protesters saying, hey, man, kneel with us. Take a knee with us. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, man, these guys, this is a crazy thing to be asking the police to take a knee because, I always want to keep it real with our viewers. I just hadn't seen the news or what was happening in other cities and everything else because these were just all day coverage that we were doing. And it turns out that there's quite a few law enforcement agencies across the country that, different from the SPD, and they have their issues or whatever. But there's a lot of law enforcement agencies that even if it was just for a minute or two or whatever, or just one precinct or things like that, they found a way to build a connection with the peaceful protesters. First one here, this comes out of Flint, Michigan. Flint, man, they still ain't fixed the water. COVID is crazy. But the sheriff there in Genesee County in Michigan, he was like, man, I'm taking off my helmet, I'm taking off my riot gear, and we're going to turn this into a parade instead of a protest.
We're here to make sure that you got a voice. That's it.
There we go.
Don't think for a second that he represents who these cops are from all over the county and around this nation. We go out there to help people, not do that nonsense.
There we go.
I just want to tell you, where's my man? Right there. Where's the gentleman?
Oh, I think he took off.
Okay, yeah, my man.
He took off.
Pastor Hawkins, see, I was going to tell you, we want to be with y'all for real. So I took my helmet off and laid the batons down. I want to make this a parade, not a protest. You got little ones here, you got dogs, so what's up? So listen, I'm just telling you, these cops love you. That cop over there hugs people, so you tell us what you need to do.
Walk with us! 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 Walk with us!
Let's walk! Let's walk!
All right. Well, we see right there. you know, the sheriff got involved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that you could see that the community there felt a bit differently. And what he said there is, you know, no violence, no arrests, no fires, no anything.
Yeah. And then the leadership, again, you have to give it up to it. This is what we talk about, I think, right now. We've been saying this since COVID. You know, what we're seeing in individual states, in cities, is the ability for folks to have some real leadership right here at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that sheriff is showing. He's showing that he can stand up and be a leader, do something innovative to actually connect and join with the people. And that is what is needed in this time. I'm loving to see the resilience of these individual cities, these individual towns rise up and show leadership that way.
But another story that we have right here came out of Sacramento, California. It's a real short clip, but it shows a young boy going up to the police and shaking hands with him and asking the police officer to kneel with him in solidarity. And we see what occurs here.
Announced this today that they would be having some police officers come in from at least 10 different departments, knowing that there may be some unrest this evening. And now you see right here a protester shaking the hand of a Sacramento police officer taking a knee right now. Protesters happy, chanting, taking photos.
Well, thank you. Actually, I'd rather have you on that clip and listening than not. On my clip, bring my camera back. So letting you guys know, I might as well give you a shout out since you brought me back cold there, everybody. Big shout out to Daryl, to DQ. And I mean, he was actually, Daryl was down there doing a lot of live support, you know what I'm saying, especially Saturday. It got funky, so he had to get out of town.
No, seriously, I mean, we were all on the scene Saturday. I just have to say that. Shout out to all of our crew. I mean, we had Dirty Hands out there. We had DQ. We had you. I was live streaming from the podium. I mean, here we are, you know what I mean, on the scene. So just shout out to our team, man, for that. And that was actually beautiful to see that young man pull that officer down with him. And again, solidarity. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, out of the nation's capital, Chocolate City. You know, right now, and we didn't include that into this broadcast, but right now, these guys, man, they giving the Secret Service hell every day at Lafayette Park, protesting right outside the White House. You know, you saw in the clip on the top of the national segment, the president has been moved to his bunker. The employees are told to shelter in place, and they're trying to, you know, get the National Guard involved to make a bigger perimeter out there. But police in Washington, D.C. found time and an opportunity to kneel with positive protesters in a sign of solidarity. No clip? Okay. We can keep going to the next one, Daryl. We've also got a clip here from New York, out of the America's toughest police force. This is in the Bronx right here, where you find that officers in the Bronx in New York, they took a knee. Yes? No? We have it? Okay. We waiting on you then. You know, I'm quick to throw Daryl under the bus on stuff. That clip missing was actually my fault. My bad, Daryl. He was back there like, I don't see it. But again, you know, America's toughest police force right there. You know, the NYPD. They're sitting there. I mean, so the thing is, we didn't see this occur here in Seattle. And it would have been good to see Chief Best come out with the positive protesters, you know what I'm saying, and take a knee in solidarity, you know, I mean, and maybe set an example for her police force. We didn't see that here in Seattle. We saw, and also out of Coral Gables, Florida, it's a photo we'll put up tomorrow. There was a meeting of police chiefs in Coral Gables, Florida, and at that meeting, all these chiefs there, you know, they took a knee because it's in solidarity, you know, with the community and what happened. You know?
Yeah, we don't need to have the dissension between the people and the police.
Yeah,
literally, we
doesn't.
do not. We see that that is not going to do anything good for either party. So at the end of the day, we need to find the ways to come together. And I'm loving this sweeping across the nation. I agree with you. It would have been great to see here. Again, like you said, even if we could have been tuned in to what was going on across the nation, even ask our officers to join us, to come in with us. Like, you know, that would have been good too. So
I have a lot of footage over the weekend, and like I said, I wasn't hip because I hadn't been following the national news because I've been so stuck on the local news. I got a lot of footage of protesters asking police officers to kneel with them. The peaceful protesters, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm probably being too cynical. I was like, why they're asking the police to kneel? How is this going to happen? But I didn't realize that it was occurring all over the country. And the last clip that we have here of you know, the police kneeling with peaceful protesters, which is crazy. It comes out of Lexington, Kentucky. And, you know, Lexington has really been a hot spot because you remember there was the murder of the EMT there, Breonna Taylor. You know what I'm saying? So it's already been a lot of tensions. There's been a lot of violence around protests there in Louisville. There were 7 protesters that were shot, you know, a few days ago. They were not by the police, but they were shot at a protest. That's something else we're going to pick up tomorrow as well, is that, not to get off topic, but the Minneapolis police, they said through bookings, jail bookings, they're finding that there's extreme left anarchists and extreme right anarchists out there. So, you know what I'm saying? And this is what's coming from the jail. So I know the president's like, we're calling, you know, Antifa terrorist, whatever. But the jail in Minneapolis is saying they're getting a lot of white supremacists who have been out there, you know, causing trouble as well, and everything else. But back to Louisville, it's been, you know, a lot of contention there. The riots, protests, everything there. A lot of stuff has been very violent. But here are the police officers in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, if you thought it's been funky in Seattle, they got protests where people getting shot and everything else. But here they are taking a knee. Camera there, Daryl? There we go. I said Louisville, I meant Lexington, but Lexington, Kentucky. So, you know what I'm saying? We see it right there. I see that my man, Beezy Two Slaps, he chimed in over here. He said that the Bellevue police chief actually did take a knee. Wow. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the symbol is very symbolic. It's hard to, and the thing is, that's why we're talking about it. We have way more stories about police building solidarity today than we have stories about, you know, there was one story there about Atlanta, but every other story has been about how the police are trying to build solidarity with actual people. And I don't know, I think that we might have missed an opportunity here in Seattle, especially, you know, I mean, especially since these other protests happened that overshadowed the peaceful one. It would have been, we've been able to say that, you know what, man, SPD, they took a knee. You know?
Yeah. And you know what? Again, any time that they can show a form, an action, a level of solidarity, now is the time to do so. I mean, nobody should even give them that suggestion. What are they doing internally to show solidarity? And what are they doing internally to show their humanistic side? That's the part, to me, that I hope Seattle PD is thinking about today. As the events unfolded over the weekend, there was a lot of missed opportunities for them. So I'm hoping that they're thinking about that today.
Right. And you know, it's crazy because we see all this kneeling, you know what I'm saying? Kind of when you think about it. And when George Floyd first died, it was funny. You saw these memes that were out there where it had the officer kneeling or putting his knee on George Floyd's neck, and then Colin Kaepernick, you know, and it's like, this is why we kneel. And it you know, Cap Cap's protest has always been a quiet one. It's been a silent one. It cost him his career. The last time we saw someone's political beliefs cost them their career on such a grand stage was Muhammad Ali. And by the time Muhammad Ali died, you know what I'm saying, he was a global icon and everything else. And the fact that Kaepernick, who our president called a son of a bitch, you know what I'm saying, and everything else, that Cap with his quiet protest, that across, who would have thought when Trump was calling him a son of a bitch, who would have thought that years later that you see chiefs of police kneeling, all these other things. We're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, we've got our melanin magic. We've got the wonderful, the talented, the amazing, the creative, the woo, there's not enough words. Ashaunti, she's in the building, Ashaunti Monique from Ashaunti Monique Customs, and we're going to talk to her. We're going to take a short break right now. But again, it's pretty amazing that silent protest that Colin Kaepernick started years ago has heads of law enforcement all across the country taking a knee.
I'm a young black man doing all that I can to stand. Oh, but when I look around and I see what's being done to my kind, every day I'm being hunted as prey. My people don't want no trouble. We've had enough struggle. I just wanna live. God protect me. I just wanna live. I just wanna live.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so there's loud protest, there's quiet protest, and some in between. But the whole point is, it's like, who would have thought, 2 years ago, however long it's been, that when Cap was taking a knee, when really it seemed like a lot of established white America and even, even around here, some of the local police agencies and everything else, not necessarily here in Seattle, with so many bad things to say about Cap. And we see here over the weekend that people are taking a knee. Anyways, this is my favorite part of the show. This is because, we like to say we don't like to leave our viewers in an affected state. And sometimes when you go through the news, if we just end the news, you know what I'm saying, you feel some kind of way the whole day. This is our melanin magic, our melanin movements. And I don't usually get nervous over here in the studio, but goodness gracious. But why don't you go ahead and switch the camera over there so people know what I'm talking about. Man, we've got Ashaunti from Ashaunti, look, I'm stuttering everything. Ashaunti Monique Customs in the building.
Hey.
Goodness,
what's up?
great.
Thanks for having me.
Somebody gonna have to bring me some water. We might have to go to commercial break. Goodness gracious. What's up, Ashaunti?
What's up?
Oh, man.
Sounds good.
Tell me, man. So let me set this up for everybody. So Ashaunti, she's a fashion designer, a fashionista. She designs clothes, she makes clothes, she sews, she does all kinds of stuff like that. And the latest thing, they really brought me, the production is getting good around here. They actually brought me some water. I hope Bobby Stills is watching because he was bringing me water yesterday. But right now you're making masks and everything like that. Yeah, and I saw your masks, and the masks are like they're taking off, right?
They are. They really are. I mean, starting out, it was a lot. I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, I'm definitely thankful, definitely blessed for all the business that I've been getting, all the support within the community, and yeah, just trying to supply and demand.
All right, that's what's up. So now, I mean, before COVID, I know COVID changed everybody's business, and we heard about a lot of big names and things like that who basically repurposed their production, whatever they were doing. They said even Gucci stopped making bags and started making, masks and things. But before we go down the road talking about the mask, I want people to kind of get an understanding of your big business, your main business, and you know what I'm saying, your fashion, your custom designs and everything. Can you put up the clip here, Daryl, the first one? Sorry. All right, so why don't you tell us about what we're seeing here?
So you're watching a line. I did a line of custom denim jackets. I did a showcase for raw natural born artists back in September, and I showcased a line of my custom denim jackets. So that's what you're seeing for most of those on there. Some of my peers and friends in the community modeled for me, and just fun different prints, anything from distress, custom fur sleeves, graffiti painting, writing with Sharpie markers all over a jacket. Really just whatever I get creative with comes to mind. I'll just go to the fabric store and, you know, see a fun print like, oh, what can I do with that?
Right.
And kind of just take it home and get a jean jacket, denim jacket, and reconstruct it to my liking, however I like. So
that's dope. You know, we interviewed the Central District artist Melvin Freeman, you know, a few months ago, and Melvin talked about, like, you know, even back in high school, he was the guy who always got these kicks, and he would customize it. Like, he couldn't let it go. It'd be a white shoe with maybe a black swoosh, and he was like, nah, I just can't let that go. I gotta customize it. I gotta get it right. You get that itch when you see something. You're like, I know how I can make that better.
Absolutely. I mean, I've always been creative. I'm an only child for the most part, so I, you know, grew up just doing arts and crafts and just being creative, and just really just hanging out by myself and just coloring or painting or drawing or sketching, like, you know, and then I pursued my degree in fashion design, and that took my skills to a whole other level. So just learning that eye that you need to just, you know, put things together and just the way things flow and combine. I guess that's just, I don't know, the way my mind works.
Clearly your mind's working in the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
And also, see, you know what, you're a double threat, because I see you're also modeling in some of your own stuff as well, huh?
Yes, I did that photo shoot here, actually.
Okay. You see. Big shout out to Black Dot multi-purpose facility over here. You know what I'm saying? So tell us then, like, I mean, how far along did this COVID thing get before you were like, oh man, maybe I should start making my own mask?
Well, when it first started, a few of my friends were like, you should make masks. And I was like, at first, I was like, no, I'm not gonna follow the trend. But then I was like, you know what? Why not? Like, let me make some, you know, just make one or two and just post it. And when I did that, it went crazy. Like, I probably got like 130 shares off of my one post, and you know, just all the fun different prints that I got. I wanted to make sure that I got prints that would be trendy for my generation.
Right.
But also, you know, just making sure that I supply the demand for my community, and, you know, making sure that everybody is protected and stays safe, and just wanted to contribute, you know, whichever way that I could. So that's kind of what got me into making masks, and it kind of took off from there. It really helped me force myself into launching my business, you know, more officially than what it was before. So
right. Man, you put me on the wide, huh? Okay. So we actually got a clip here. We need your audio up, Daryl. We got another clip here that actually shows a few of your masks. So maybe you can tell us about them.
Yeah. So this is our floral butterfly print. We have our galaxy print, made in Wakanda, Black Panther. Of course, Sonics, Retro Sonics. I'm from Seattle, my hometown. Looney Tunes. Grew up in the 90s. Fun bandana prints. I just actually launched these this morning, the Black Lives Matter and the I Can't Breathe face mask. You know, with the whole police brutality and everything that's going on, I still wanted to find a way that I could express my work, you know, and just show support to everyone that's out there, and, you know, with the whole human rights, you know, just support people and what they support with their human rights. So
right. And what's the price range for these masks?
All masks for the month of June are $10 on my website.
So that's affordable. So listen.
Except. The face mask I did just put out today, I hand paint the writing on there. Okay. So those are a little bit more expensive.
That's custom.
Those are, yeah. So those ones are 15. But
so 15. So that's still affordable. You know, we're on this, and the bigger thing than the news and fallout from these protests and riots is everything else. What we have to remember to do is continue to support our black businesses. So many of them have been hit by COVID. This young lady right here was able to take a crisis and turn it into an opportunity to repurpose her fashion design business into a business that designs masks. How can people get up with you? How can people find you? Tell people the website, the Instagram.
Yeah, you can find me. My social media, Instagram is Ashaunti Monique _customs. Facebook, Ashaunti Monique Customs, or you can shop on my website at AshauntiMonique.com.
Man, okay.
Yeah.
AshauntiMonique.com.
Yes.
And tell everybody, because you know a lot of people are used to a traditional spelling of Ashaunti, so let's spell it out for them. The website address.
Yes, my mom added a U in my name because she thought I would be unique, in which she was right. So
of course she was.
It's Ashaunti, ASHAUNTI, and then Monique, MONIQUE Customs.
All right. Wow, Ashaunti, thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I told you it was going to be a lot of smoke at the beginning of the show. We usually do interviews at the beginning of the show. I was like, it's too much smoke.
That's all right. Get it out the way.
Yeah, and you fit perfectly into our melanin magic. So what we're getting ready to do now, we've come to the end of the show, and we kind of started something new on Friday. And we're helping people, like I said, leave in a better way than we found them. So I'm going to need you just to stand up here real quick.
Okay.
If we can get the wide, Daryl. And we're leaving everybody with Lift Every Voice and Sing, the Black National Anthem. We'll catch you tomorrow at 11 a.m. right here on the Morning Update Show. Peace.
Every voice and sing till earth in heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun.